or adult contemporary radio station in Zambia, connecting you to the newsmakers and events that make news in the global village.
Good evening. This is the 5FM Radio Main News. The headlines. Government to scale up water development programs in 2026. Sunday Chanda announces plans to join UPND after parliament dissolution. In Sudan, drone attack on key hospital killed 64 people during Eid, WHO says. This bulletin is streaming live on our Facebook page, 5FM Radio Zambia, and live on our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. With the details, my name is Lance Sannie Banda. The Zambian government has announced plans to significantly scale up water development programs across the country in 2026, with a focus on improving access to safe water in both rural and urban areas. The initiative will include the construction of 37 piped water supply schemes in rural growth centers, drilling of 728 new boreholes, and rehabilitation of 500 non-functional boreholes to restore water access in rural communities. The announcement was made during the commemoration of World Water Day in Luanshya, held under the global theme Water and Gender, which highlights the link between water access and gender equality. In Zambia, the event was commemorated under the theme Water and Gender, increasing water access for women, men, and girls for a sustainable future. Speaking on behalf of Minister of Water Development and Sanitation Collins Zovu, Permanent Secretary Romas Kamanga, said the theme reflects the lived realities of many communities across the country, including those in Kasongo, where the commemoration was held. Engineer Kamanga further announced that in urban areas, government will strengthen water distribution networks and connect approximately 20,000 additional households to reliable water supply systems. He said the interventions are expected to improve access to safe water, enhance public health, and boost economic productivity. He emphasized that access to clean and safe water goes beyond infrastructure, stating that it is also about dignity, equality, and opportunity. Sunday Chanda, Member of Parliament for Kanchibiya constituency under the Patriotic Front, has announced that he will join the United Party for National Development UPND once Parliament is dissolved. In a statement, Mr. Chanda said the decision follows careful consideration and is aimed at supporting the national development agenda under the leadership of President Hakainde Hichilema. He emphasized that the move should not be viewed as a betrayal of loyalties, but rather as an affirmation of his commitment to public service and improving the lives of Zambians. Mr. Chanda said Zambia has an opportunity to consolidate progress and accelerate development under President Hakainde Hichilema's leadership, which he described as pragmatic and visionary. The lawmaker noted that national development requires leaders who prioritize the country over political interests and support programs that deliver tangible results for citizens. He added that he believes that President Hichilema's vision for a stable economy, expanded opportunities, and accountable governance provides a strong foundation for national progress. Mr. Chanda further stated that his commitment to public service remains firm and that in joining the UPND, he aims to contribute to policies and programs that uplift communities and expand opportunities across the country. The Center for Peace Research and Advocacy, CYPRA, has expressed deep concern and sorrow over the recent surge in mob-related criminal activities that have tragically resulted in the loss of innocent lives in Zambia. In a statement, Cypra Executive Director Clifton Chifue said the most disturbing incident is the brutal killing of a woman in northwestern province, following allegations that she was responsible for the disappearance of a man's manhood, accusations based solely on suspicion and unsupported by any credible evidence. Mr. Chifue said the tragic death was fueled by rumors and misinformation, as there has been no proof that the alleged victim had, in fact, lost his organ. He noted that even more alarming is that the incident is not isolated. Only a week earlier, a similar occurrence in Chingola drew national attention when a man was brutally assaulted and publicly humiliated after being accused of causing another man's alleged loss of manhood merely by tapping his shoulder. He added that as an organization committed to peace, justice, and human dignity, Cypra is deeply saddened that sections of society appear increasingly willing to abandon reason, compassion, and respect for human life in favor of fear driven rumors and mob action. He said the growing susceptibility to unverified claims and superstition reflects a troubling erosion of moral responsibility and national values. Mr. Chifue further stated that the death of an innocent woman is a painful reminder of the danger of mob justice and the consequences of unchecked misinformation. He said Zambia, a nation that proudly identifies itself as a Christian nation, must reflect seriously on the moral direction society is taking. He stressed that 62 years after independence, it is unacceptable that citizens can be incited to violence by allegations that defy medical, scientific, and rational understanding. Meanwhile, Cypra has commended the Zambia Police Service for their efforts to save the victim despite being overpowered by a violent mob that attacked law enforcement officers. While it is deeply regrettable that a life was ultimately lost before reinforcements could fully restore order, the organization acknowledged the police for arresting more than 8 individuals in connection rather with the murder. The Economic Development Board of Mauritius, in collaboration with the Zambia Development Agency ZDA, will host the Mauritius Zambia ICT Business Forum on March 23, 2026, at the Intercontinental Hotel. The forum forms part of the broader Mauritius Africa Export of ICT Services Roadshow, which is being held from March 16 to 25, 2026 across Namibia, Botswana, and Zambia. The event is expected to bring together government officials, industry leaders, and ICT enterprises from both countries to explore strategic partnerships, investment opportunities, and collaborative approaches to advancing Africa's digital transformation agenda. Avinashi Ramtho, Mauritius Minister of Information, Technology, Communication and Innovation, is expected to outline the country's vision for regional ICT collaboration during the forum. The Economic Development Board will also lead a delegation of 11 private sector companies, which will participate in business to business engagements with their Zambian counterparts. Meanwhile, Felix Mtati, Minister of Technology and Science, will officiate at the event and hold high level bilateral talks with his Mauritius counterpart, aimed at strengthening government to government cooperation. And Albert Haluampa, Director General of the Zambia Development Agency ZDA, said the engagement comes at a critical time as Zambia accelerates its digital transformation agenda and positions itself as a competitive destination for technology driven investment. Patriots for Economic Progress (PEP) leader Sean Tembo has donated an undisclosed amount towards the building project at Matero Seventh Day Adventist Mission District's Kasamba congregation. Speaking during a church service at the Seventh-day Adventist Church Kasamba congregation, Mr. Tembo said he would not disclose the amount contributed towards the project. He stated that giving is a personal act of faith, adding that God loves a cheerful giver. The donation is expected to support ongoing construction works at the church.
From acknowledging my project ya miniachitika pa congregation I was briefed kuti kuliko project for 22 miles uku ya mini congregation, not only congregation but Matero Mission yonse, Matero Mission district yonse is working on that project ya campsite for 22 miles, and the church is putting together to my resources put is a project ichitike. I was also briefed kuti kuzanga fundraising for 12 April for government complex to raise the resources, and is a partaker and people no struggle contribute kangono chabe to go towards that project.
Lundazi, aspiring member of parliament on the United Party for National Development UPND ticket, Ambassador Evans Ngoma, has challenged leaders in the district over the lack of development in Timatila ward. Mr. Ngoma noted that despite Lundazi having an opposition parliamentary representative, council chairperson and councillors' progress has remained stagnant. He questioned why Constituency Development Fund CDF allocations have not been fully utilized, suggesting that political differences may be preventing projects from moving forward. Mr. Ngoma, has asked the community to demand answers from their elected representatives, stressing that leadership accountability is critical. Mr. Ngoma further observed that some residents believe the area could see more meaningful development if people elected a UPND member of parliament, council chairperson, and councillors to work in alignment with President Hakainde Hichilema's administration. He encouraged citizens to reflect on the state of development and consider change as the August 13 elections approach.
Chifukwa ntakuti awa sange baseza kamakola zile ndalama iwo kwa akainde kawaone kelenge kutaka wakuseleza ipo kasi mtondeske basi tangu kazede before zede nesta niliruka tambuka pala kizasukuno na posa pala bridge nalo rostashi kuma nikomeza huku ndazi huku nako mabridge kulije walifuma kwa MP ufumba na walifuma kwa MP walifuma kwa kansela nanga kansela wakuna kumtimia walifumapo kaso mkuwafumba ya ikutikako kolati huko ine pano ninga kwanisa mpanza ketika ine ito nipo nisele ukamtembelani kula chakunena kutembelani siu ule makura wena sana oi wauni kula
And in other news trending this evening, Tom Jovu, a peace leadership and conflict resolution scientist, strongly condemned the killing of a woman in Kalumbila district. The Rural Development Agency has announced the temporary closure of a section of the Monze Nico Road between kilometer 46 and kilometer 48. And in news from across our borders, Sudan's army has denied it carried out a deadly attack on a major hospital on Friday night in a city in the west of the country held by its rivals, the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, has said. The head of the World Health Organization, WHO, said 64 people, including 13 children, 2 nurses, and a doctor, had died in the strike on LDN Teaching Hospital, and 89 others had been wounded. Enough blood has been spilled, Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus posted on his X, urging the warring parties to end the conflict, which started nearly 3 years ago. The RSF said an army drone had hit the hospital in LDN, the capital of East Jaffa state, on the day Muslims were marking the festival of Eid. And in sports news, Arsenal and Manchester City's battle for domestic supremacy shifts to the Wembley stage today, Sunday. But this feels like more than just another Carabao Cup final. Mikel Arteta's side currently holds sway with a 9-point lead in the Premier League and a place in the Champions League quarter-finals, while Pep Guardiola's City were eliminated by Real Madrid in Europe's elite competition for the third time in 4 seasons. The two clubs are still involved in the FA Cup, but the first major final of the season offers the possibility to strike a psychological blow as the campaign enters its closing phase. It could be the first of 3 meetings between the pair before the season is out, with a huge league match at Etihad Stadium in April and a potential FA Cup tie. Stand by for the weather report.
Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
Northern, Luapula, Northwestern, Western, Southern, and the Western districts of Central Province partly cloudy, tending to be cloudy in some areas, with isolated rain and thunder. Eastern, Muchinga, Lusaka, Copperbelt, and the Eastern districts of Central Provinces partly cloudy, tending to be cloudy over some areas, with isolated rain and thunder. Ends our weather report, and that weather item brings us to the end of the news part. Before we go, a recap of the stories that made headlines. The Zambian government has announced plans to significantly scale up water development programs across the country in 2026, with a focus on improving access to safe water in both rural and urban areas. Sandy Chanda, Member of Parliament for Kanchiwea constituency under the Patriotic Front, has announced that he will join the United Party for National Development once Parliament is dissolved. And finally, in the news, Sudanese army has denied it carried out a deadly attack on a major hospital on Friday night in a city in the west of the country held by its rivals, the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces. For more news, follow us on Facebook, 5FM Radio Zambia, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, 5FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, thank you for listening to the happy world of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. My name is Lance Sannie Banda. Enjoy the rest of the evening.